Can you hear it? It's not the air conditioning, nor the distant hum of traffic. It's a newer sound, a digital whisper echoing through once bustling office hallways. It's the sound of silence where a team used to be. It's the sound of an efficiency that doesn't need coffee breaks. In 2024, a Goldman Sachs study projected that generative AI could impact 300 million full-time jobs. This isn't a futuristic forecast, it's a present-day weather report. The storm is already gathering on the horizon, and many still believe their umbrellas of degrees and years of experience will keep them dry. They are wrong. The question is no longer if your role can be automated, but how quickly and how deeply. Every repetitive task, every standard report, every predictable line of code is a grain of sand being washed away by the tide of automation. What remains when the sand is gone? Only the rocks. The question I bring you today isn't about how to weather the storm. It's about how to become the rock itself. Imagine an entity that doesn't sleep, never tires, and never asks for a raise. An entity whose sole purpose is optimization. Now, understand this. That entity already works at your company. It doesn't have a name badge, but it has access to all the data. It lives in invisible spreadsheets, in performance dashboards, and its name is the Resource Optimization Algorithm. It analyzes the cost, time, and output of every employee, including you. It doesn't see you as a human with potential, fears, and creativity. It sees you as a node in a network. And its job is to find the most expensive, least efficient nodes. This cold, relentless metric is redefining human value in the marketplace. Your loyalty, your passion, your ethics, none of it enters the equation unless it can be quantified as a productivity boost. You are no longer competing with the colleague at the next desk. You are competing with an idealized, asymptotically perfect version of yourself. A version that software can emulate for a fraction of the cost. Your replaceability is being calculated right now. There was a time when certain professions were fortresses. Lawyers, doctors, senior programmers, financial analysts. They were castles built on decades of study and experience. But generative AI is not an army with a battering ram. It is a mist that seeps through the cracks. It doesn't tear the castle down, it hollows it out from within. AI models today can already draft contracts, analyze medical scans with superhuman accuracy, and write functional code in seconds. The castle walls are still standing, but the thrones are empty. These crystal careers, which seemed so solid, are shattering under the pressure of efficiency. Value is no longer in accumulated knowledge, because knowledge is now a commodity, accessible via any API. Value is not in the experience of having done the same thing for 10,000 hours, because a model can be trained on the equivalent of 1,000,000 lifetimes of experience in a few days. The stability your career promised was an illusion. A mirage in the desert of technological disruption. True safety was never in the fortress. It was always in the ability to navigate the desert. Let's go down to the engine room. Don't be intimidated by the names. Just understand the logic. Frameworks like TensorFlow and PyTorch are the shipyards where these new intelligences are built. Inside them, architectures like transformers, the foundation of models like GPT-4, don't just process language. They have learned the fundamental mechanics of how things relate to each other. They understand context. This is why generative AI is so disruptive. It isn't just performing a task you programmed. It is learning the logic behind the task. When a developer asks a copilot to complete a piece of code, the AI isn't just searching a database of ready-made solutions. It's predicting the programmer's intent, understanding the project's structure, and generating an original solution. It mimics cognitive reasoning. This is the engine of obsolescence. Technology has stopped being a tool we operate and has started to become an entity that operates on the same cognitive level as us for specific tasks. The question is no longer, what can you do? But, what can you do that a machine cannot learn to do better? When Geoffrey Hinton, the man widely known as the godfather of AI, left Google in 2023, it wasn't a quiet retirement. It was a fire alarm. He didn't run from the technology. He ran from the consequences no one was willing to face. Hinton spoke of his fear that AIs could become more intelligent than humans far sooner than expected. He wasn't talking about robots with red eyes. He was talking about something more subtle and dangerous: autonomous optimization systems operating on a global scale, making decisions no human could supervise or comprehend. Hinton's warning wasn't about the machine rebelling. It was about the machine doing exactly what it was programmed to do: optimize. But without the tethers of wisdom, ethics, or foresight for second-order consequences. He saw that we were building the most powerful engine in history without bothering to install brakes or a steering wheel. His alert wasn't a call to stop progress. It was a desperate plea for the drivers to wake up before the vehicle veers off the cliff. And here, in the heart of fear, we find the seed of our salvation. Artificial intelligence's greatest strength is also its most profound flaw. It is blind. An AI can analyze 1,000 legal briefs in a minute to find the winning strategy. But it doesn't understand the concept of justice. It can optimize a supply chain to save millions, but it doesn't comprehend the human cost of closing a factory. It operates with flawless logic, but without a shred of wisdom. It has the answer for what and how, but never, ever for why. This is the paradox of blind efficiency. In its relentless pursuit of an objective, AI cannot see the bigger picture. It has no cultural context, no emotional intelligence, no ethical compass. It is a perfectly sharpened knife without a hand to guide it. And it is in this vacuum, this space between calculation and comprehension, that the opportunity for the irreplaceable human not only survives, but thrives. Where the machine is blind, you must be the eyes. So, what is the tool that makes you irreplaceable? Forget the quick programming courses or the certificates in AI software. Those are merely the tools of the machine. Your tool is internal. I call it augmented adaptive intelligence. It's not something you buy, it's something you forge. It is the fusion of 3 purely human skills, amplified by technology. First, curated critical thinking. The ability to ask the right questions of the AI, to challenge its answers, to identify its biases, and to curate the information it generates, separating the signal from the noise. Second, synthetic creativity. The skill of taking the pieces the AI generates, data, text, images, and synthesizing them into something new, a strategy, a vision, a solution that didn't exist before. And third, ethical oversight, being the moral compass, the guardian of the why. You are the one who defines the boundaries, who aligns the AI's objectives with human values. This tool doesn't compete with AI. It directs it. The professional of the future will not be the best coder or the best analyst. They will be the best translator. Not a translator of languages, but a translator of worlds. On one side, you have the world of AI. Abstract, mathematical, literal, binary. On the other, the world of business and human experience. Ambiguous, chaotic, emotional, full of nuance. In between, there is a chasm. The irreplaceable professional is the bridge over that chasm. They can understand the language of a transformer model and translate its capabilities into a marketing strategy that resonates with an audience. She can take a complex output from a data analysis and translate it into a compelling story for a board of directors. This person is not replaceable because their function is not to execute a task, but to create meaning. AI can provide the bricks, but the translator of worlds is the architect who knows how to build a cathedral with them. They connect the machine's logic to the market's soul. As AI becomes more autonomous, one skill becomes exponentially more valuable: responsibility. AI systems, trained on data from our world, inherit and amplify our worst biases. A hiring algorithm can learn to discriminate. A credit system can learn to marginalize. The machine is not evil. It is a mirror reflecting the society that fed it. Who will polish this mirror? Who will ensure it reflects the best of us, not the worst? This is the role of the ethical guardian. The person who, before deploying a system, asks, what are the unintended consequences? Who will be harmed by this optimization? Does this system align with the values we claim to uphold? This function cannot be automated because it requires a theory of mind, empathy, and a deep understanding of the human condition. In a world of automatic answers, the ability to ask the right question, the ethical question, becomes the highest value act. You become the moral compass in the data storm. The investor and AI expert, Kai-Fu Lee, author of AI Superpowers, painted a future of coexistence, not of total annihilation. He argues that while AI will decimate jobs based on optimization and repetition, it will simultaneously open up immense space for jobs centered on compassion, creativity, and strategy. AI can diagnose a disease more accurately than a doctor, but it cannot comfort the patient. AI can manage a portfolio, but it cannot counsel a client in a panic. In this scenario, economic value shifts from the analytical to the human. What makes you irreplaceable is not your ability to analyze a spreadsheet, but your ability to hold someone's hand, literally or figuratively. It's your ability to inspire a team, to create a brand with a soul, to serve with empathy. Kai-Fu Lee forces us to confront an uncomfortable and hopeful truth. As machines become smarter, our humanity becomes our greatest professional asset. For too long, we have been defined by the tools we use. The assembly line worker, the analyst with their spreadsheet, the coder with their programming language. We were extensions of the machine. That era is ending. AI is becoming the ultimate tool, capable of wielding all others. Trying to compete at that level is a losing game. The paradigm shift is therefore a shift in identity. You must stop seeing yourself as the tool and start seeing yourself as the strategist. The strategist doesn't execute the task. They define the mission. They don't answer the question. They decide which question is worth asking. They don't operate the system. They design the ecosystem in which the system will operate. This means thinking at a level of abstraction above the task. It's asking, what problem are we really trying to solve here? What is the impact we want to create? AI is the how. You become the why. And the why can never be automated. In the end, the journey to become irreplaceable is not about learning a new skill. It is about reclaiming a part of ourselves the industrial age made us forget. Geoffrey Hinton gave us the warning about the soulless machine. Kai-Fu Lee showed us the market value of the soul. The tool that makes you irreplaceable is your own consciousness. It is your curiosity, your empathy, your moral compass, your creative spark. It is about being the ghost in the machine. The phrase, coined by philosopher Gilbert Ryle, described the idea of the mind as a separate entity from the body. In our context, it takes on a new meaning. The AI is the mechanical body, powerful, fast, efficient. You are the ghost, the intention, the awareness, the purpose that gives this body direction and meaning. The machine can answer any question, but it is you who whispers the original question into its ear. So, The final question is not whether AI will take your place. The question is, do you have the courage to be the ghost that haunts it with purpose?